Hello, hello, Cara Mc Gillion. How are you today?
I'm amazing. How are you keeping?
I'm very well, thank you. Thinking to chat to you today. So, can you tell me roughly how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
I have been singing properly since I was about 13. I started as a form of therapy whenever I lost my nanny. So she sadly gone 11 years. So it was kind of how I come out. And then, yeah, I started singing from then, and the rest is history, I suppose.
So, what was it like going into the recording studio when you first went there to release your debut single?
Going into it was a different experience. I mean, it's something that as a kid you're always looking at going, oh my God, recording studio. And the very, very first single I ever released was one called AWD. It was one that I'd written along with my daddy about his cousin. So my cousin sadly passed away. He had a condition called MSA, and we had released that to sort of raise funds for the MSA charity in Northern Ireland. And going into the studio, and I had such talented musicians with me. I had a man called Alan Wilders and a boy called Eddie O'Brien, who I'd known from when I was a child, and they all come into the studio with me, and it was just absolutely amazing. It was such an amazing experience. It's something you watch on TV. Like I used to watch Hannah Montana all the time and be like, "Look at her in a recording studio, it's class." And then you go in and you're like, "Whoa, I feel like a superstar, even if it's for only like 10 minutes. Like it's amazing."
So, can you tell me what my single is called? Daddy's Girl at Heart.
Yes, so Daddy's Good at Heart was the first one I released to radio, so AWD was the charity one. Daddy's Good at Heart I wrote back when I was 13, so I had a real writing phase. When I was 13, everything was sort of coming to me. It was a therapy, and me and my daddy are the best of friends. We're two peas in a pod. So Daddy's Girl was written for Father's Day, to release it with him. And if anybody knows me, they know my daddy, because we're joined at the hip. He does boxing, I do boxing. He does the radio, I do the radio. So he's the one that really sort of has helped me get to where I am today. Like I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for my daddy.
So, what was it like to record your debut album called "This Is Me"?
This Is Me was amazing. It was an amazing process. It was different than the singles. The thing with This Is Me is I have so many different sort of notches in my belt, I'm gonna say. So like I do musical theatre, I sing country, I sing sacred. So when it come to a debut album, I wanted every single song in that album to have a meaning. So the likes of the Greatest Showman one that's on there, from now on, that had a meaning because I love musical theatre, and that's part of how I grew my confidence. There's one on there called Loved You That Way. That was about my grandparents because I sadly lost them both, two of my biggest supporters. Like every single song on there has a way of connecting it back to me. So that was an amazing experience just to get sitting there. And then I wrote a couple of songs for it as well. And the song Empty Promises, which is my favourite song on the whole album, was wrote about a tragic event that happened in my family, the 1998 Oma bombing here. It happened in the Troubles, so that was a really special one to write, and Mummy and Daddy were there when it was recorded. So the whole album was really, really special, and I love that.
So, is there any artists out there that inspire you to get
What,
your
sorry?
inspiration? Is there any artists out there that get your inspiration from?
Ooh, there's loads of artists. I mean, obviously over here in Ireland, I would take a lot of inspiration from like Philomena Begley and from Big Tom. Big Tom was played constantly in my granda's house. If you went in, he was on Alexa. Like the very, very first country song I ever sung was an Irish Nurse by Big Tom, and that was because of my granda. But in terms of like, I love American country as well. I think I was raised on American country, so the likes of Carrie Underwood, Dolly, Reba, they're all massive inspirations. And sort of more, I'm writing a lot at the minute. I'm writing with actually one of my best friends, Callum. We're writing a song at the minute, and it has a lot of them American influences in it, so it's a bit different, but yeah, they're definitely big influences in my life.
So, could you sing a piece called "She's in Love with a Boy"?
Yes, the Trisha Yearwood one. So I got a fabulous opportunity to record with a live band in a live recording studio session called Ivory Sessions, and there was no other song I'd want to pick. Um, Everything I sort of release has a meaning. I don't just release songs for the sake of it. I always have a meaning behind the songs and why I release it. And She's in Love with a Boy really reflected on my time period at the time. I was with my boyfriend, my now boyfriend, for a year, and I just was loving everything. I love Trisha Yearwood. I had seen her live with Garth Brooks, and everyone was laughing at me. I was in Croke Park watching Garth Brooks, and I had my daddy beside me, and Trisha Yearwood come out and I screamed. And the people beside me were like, is she okay? Like, what's wrong with her? But everyone was on over Garth Brooks, but Trisha Yearwood come out and I screamed and I cried and I knew she sung She's in Love with the Boy live and I just said to my mum, I need to record that song. Like, there's no other song I want to record next. It has to be She's in Love with the Boy. And that's where that
So,
was born.
so what was it like to work with a live band recording that single?
It was definitely a different experience. I mean, with a live band and you're in a session and you really only have one or two chances to get it right because the band have rehearsed without you. You're rehearsing without the band. I was used to singing with a backing track, not the band. So when I walked in there, it was took a bit of getting used to because I had headphones on, but there was live musicians around me, and it did. The first time I sung it through, now it was a bit ropey. I'm glad that's not the recording we went with. But after that, then it kind of got easier. I just love singing with a band. I think I prefer singing with live musicians and they're able to adapt to you. And if you maybe go a wee bit wrong, then they're able to sort of fix it without you, like without messing it up and stuff. So I love recording with a band. I think it's an amazing experience. And we have so many talented musicians here in Ireland. I mean, one of the lad that played the lead guitar, Kieran Sheeran, like that's the band that are currently touring and Take It to the Limit. So I had such amazing musicians from all over Ireland that were there that day, as well as Mark Cahill, who was a producer. And the experience from start to finish, I walked in, it was just absolutely amazing.
So, what was it like to record your Christmas single called Noel?
Yeah, so Noel was something really different for me. It's not really country. And I like that about it because obviously I love all the Christmas, like the cheesy Christmas songs, like All I Want for Christmas and I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas and things like that. But the thing about Noel is I have great faith. I've always had faith, and faith has what got me through some really, really tough and questionable times in my life. So when I'd heard this hymn, it's a Chris Tomlin hymn. Chris Tomlin's actually wrote loads of different country songs as well. He wrote for Thomas Rhett and things, and the minute I'd heard it, I was just like, this is amazing, and the meaning behind the song. And as I've said before, like I need a meaning behind a song, and it really, really hit home, and especially just because I have such great faith, and then getting to sing it in the chapel and stuff as well was just absolutely amazing.
The thing about your latest single called Claim on My Heart.
Claim on My Heart was such a fun one. I'd actually heard it. It was in some random like do you know like I deep dive sometimes in Spotify and it was really really like deep dive that I'd gone down and I'd found this band called Cash on Delivery. I'd never heard of them before and the second I heard Claim My Heart like I went to my mum and I was like oh my god I go to my mum about everything you probably hear that throughout I was like oh my gosh this is amazing have it here so I let a couple of people hear it before I sort of set my heart on recording it because Claim on My Heart had quite big shoes to fill because I'd released the song Shadows just before, which had won awards. So I couldn't just release any old thing after that. So whenever we went to the studio for Claim on My Heart, William, who's my producer, was absolutely amazing because the song was really just three chords and the music. There wasn't a lot to it. So I was able to put my spin on it, add the steel guitar, add the fiddle. I was able to play with the production of that a lot more, which is absolutely amazing. And I love playing with the producing side of things as well. It's great fun.
So, are you working on any new music in the near future?
Yes, so I'm currently writing a couple of songs. They're very, very different. They're kind of more that new American style, sort of Zach Bryan, Megan Maroney, that vibe. But I also had a lovely song wrote for me. Two songs wrote for me, one about just country music in general, and then one actually can't remember the name of it now. But I have a couple of things in the works and I'm really excited to get them out and get the world let the world hear my music again, which is insane.
So, what's it like to be an independent artist for you?
Being an independent artist is actually I find it quite tough initially. I mean, especially trying to break country music in general, I find it quite tough, especially as a female. I feel like there's a lot more expected of a female, in different things that they do. Like I've walked into bars with my daddy, and they've spoke to my daddy, been like, "Oh, what are you singing tonight?" And daddy's went, "Oh no, it's Cara," and they're like, "Oh." Like they nearly were expecting something else. So I have found it quite hard, but it has been the most rewarding thing I've ever done is to put my heart out there and be a musician full time. And like last night, for example, I was gigging in a hotel in Derry and the minute I walked in. Like Declan Nerney was sitting there, and this wee old man, he ran past Declan Nerney and come straight to me, gave me a big hug, and said how one of the song Shadows that I had released had really, really helped him cope with the passing of his wife. And if anything else, if nothing made my day, like that's all I want to do. If I can help one person in anything they're going through, that's amazing. And the fact that I'm able to do that as an independent artist is just insane.
So have you got any upcoming gigs you want to promote?
Up and coming gigs. Well, I'm really just flat out in local bars at the minute. I had a really big gig last night in Derry with Mr. Gary Wilson, who's a comedian over here. So I'm kind of just tutoring along at the minute. I have some things in the pipeline for 2026, but I just can't share them quite yet. But I am heading to Blackpool now in February 2026. I'm heading over with Mr. Dominic Kerwin for his weekend in Blackpool. There's myself and a whole host of other artists, so that'll be exciting. I've been to Blackpool before, but never singing in Blackpool, so it'll be a different experience. And there's a couple of festivals and stuff I've lined up as well, so it's to be an exciting year coming up.
So finally, can you tell me, listeners, where can I find you on your social media?
Yes, so my TikTok, my Instagram, and my Facebook all are the same, Cara Mc Gillion Music. If you want to know what I'm doing day to day, it's probably better to look at my Facebook because it gives you more information because my mum runs that one. My TikTok is a bit of everything. It kind of shows you insights to me as well as my music and the creative process and everything. So yeah, all just Cara Mc Gillion Music.
I'm thinking of a chat to you today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Goodbye.
Bye.